Part 1 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. He broke all high school records in Florida, and he had the best intangibles. He was a leader. He was a winner. But the question is, could he throw? That was in question. He was ranked the #1 dual threat quarterback because he could run the ball. In his freshman year in Florida, he had his breakout game against LSU, running and passing for his first touchdown in his career. He did not start his freshman year. He was behind Chris Leak, but he was in a lot of packages, showcasing his running ability and his short passing ability in his freshman year. We did not see any big changes of his deep throwing his freshman year. But that didn't stop the Florida Gators from winning the national title, Tim Tebow's first national title with the Florida Gators. Part 2 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. After his freshman year, there were a lot of doubts of his throwing ability, but he put that to rest. As his sophomore year, he would throw for 3,300 yards, 32 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. And he would go on as a sophomore to win the Heisman Trophy. I believe he was the first ever sophomore to win the Heisman Trophy. So his playing ability is no longer in question. Now, his final game of the season, a bowl game against the University of Michigan at the Outback Bowl, he would have another spectacular game. However, he would not be able to lead his team to win the final game of the year. He went without a national title, and he couldn't win his bowl game, leaving questions, could Tim Tebow be a winner? Again, he just failed his final game, and he just couldn't get it done his sophomore year, though he won the Heisman Trophy. Part 3 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. He started out his junior season looking for an undefeated record, going 3-0, but then they played Ole Miss, and Tim Tebow failed to get the first down that was needed.
We're hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal. Something Florida's never done here. But I promise you one thing, a lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season. You never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season. You never see a team play harder than we will the rest of the season. God bless.
After this speech, the Tim Tebow-led Gators went on an iconic run, destroying teams in the SEC, getting 50, 60 points a game. No one's ever seen that before in the SEC. Tim Tebow set the stage, and then there was one game left to play before a national title game, and that was against Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part 4 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. They would go on to beat Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban. The question always was, can this offense, led by Tim Tebow, win a national title game? Well, they got one step closer. After their speech, Tim Tebow would go on to win 8 straight games in the SEC, dominating the SEC like they'd never seen before. But would that translate to a national title game? The answer would be a resounding yes. Tim Tebow won a title his freshman year and led a team on his own after winning a Heisman Trophy his sophomore year to win a national title his junior year. Tim Tebow was a champion. He was a winner. All he would do is win, and he would score 40, 50, 60 points in the SEC. His senior year, he ended up 12-1. Didn't lead to a national title, but dominated his final game, 12-1 against Cincinnati. Tim Tebow would become the winningest football player of all time at the University of Florida and a 2-time national champion. Part 5 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. After winning a Heisman, winning 2 national titles, and a 12-1 senior record, teams still had question, could Tim Tebow be a quarterback in the NFL? One team believed in him, and it was the Denver Broncos, led by Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels saw something in Tim Tebow. He won him in his pro workouts, and they drafted him 25th overall in the NFL draft. But later on, Josh McDaniels got fired. Tim Tebow would go on to play and start winning his football games, and he also had a dominant season his rookie year. He would go on to beat in comeback style the Houston Texans in the NFL Week 16. After this win and after that season, the Denver Broncos would get a new coach, one guy who would not believe early on in Tim Tebow. That would be John. Part 6 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. John Fox did not believe in Tim Tebow, started Kyle Orton. Broncos started 1-3. This is what happened next. John Fox would start Kyle Orton the following game, and then when they were down 26-10, he decided to put in Tim Tebow, thinking nothing would happen. But what would happen would lead to Tebow time. So 26-10, and now it's 26-18. Tebow would throw the ball downfield, and he would show his accuracy downfield even further. And then he put the Broncos in a chance to come back in this game. There was a Hail Mary last-second chance, and Tim Tebow would scramble out of it, showing his unique skills and his determination. He would end up throwing this short, and the Broncos would lose this game. But this would give Tim Tebow a chance for Tebow time, coming up for Part 7. Part 7 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. After almost coming from behind against the Chargers, Tim Tebow was down 15-0 in the fourth quarter. Throws this touchdown to be down 15-7, down 8 points, and then he leads them down. And this would be later known as Tebow time. In the fourth quarter, Tebow Mania started to run wild. This touchdown right here made them down 15-13. They needed a 2-point conversion, and during Tebow time, that was happening. Became 15-15. Tebow would end up winning this game because of this field goal, 18-15, leading the Broncos to his first win as a starter that season. Then, against the Oakland Raiders, Tim Tebow would go on to win 38-24, leading them to 2 wins as a starter. Stay tuned for Part 8. Part 8 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. Tim Tebow, now 2-1 as a starter, had only 2 completions, but this one completion for 60 yards led the Broncos to another victory, 17-10. Tim Tebow, 3-1 as the Denver Broncos starting quarterback. Then, on Monday Night Football against Rex Ryan and the New York Jets, Tim Tebow needed 95 yards with 2 minutes left to make another comeback. Could Tebow time keep happening? Could Tebow do this? It was another big QB scramble, and Tim Tebow, with this touchdown, led the Broncos to a 17-13 victory. John Elway can't believe it. He's happy. John Fox is elated. Who would have thought? Tim Tebow time was happening. And then they had to go against the team that beat them last, the Denver Broncos, against the San Diego Chargers. Part 9 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. So he's 4-1 as a starter right now. He's going against the San Diego Chargers and Phillip Rivers. Down 16-13, they were tied at 16 with overtime. Tim Tebow would lead the Broncos downfield with another field goal and would take the game 16-13. He's 5-1 as a starter right now. Goes to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, throwing the ball downfield, throwing the ball over 300 yards, throw after throw. Tim Tebow is beating them with his legs, he's beating them with their arm, and they're down now 29-27. Tim Tebow gets his 2-point conversion. Everyone knew it was going to him, and they couldn't do anything to stop him. Vikings would tack on the lead at 32-29, and then Tim Tebow would tie it at 32-32. With that field goal, it'd be 35-32. Tebow Mania keeps running wild. He's now 6-1 as a starter before he has to go against the haunted Bears defense. Part 10 of Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL. So he's 6-1 as a starter, and now they are down 10 points with 2 minutes left against the Bears. They're down 10 points with 2 minutes left. They're not going to win these games. They go for the onside kick, but they just barely miss it. And then Marion Barber runs out of bounds. So that leads to the Bears punting the ball back to Tim Tebow. Under 40 seconds left. He has to go 40 yards to get him in field goal position. He gets him there, and he's trying to get him even closer, but he can't do it. So now it's time for a 59-yard field goal. Matt Prater makes it, sends the game unbelievably into overtime. Everyone's excited. They can't believe it. Then Tebow, led by his arm, is driving the Broncos downfield. Is he going to lead them back? Well, it's Tebow time. Of course he's going to lead them back. And then another field goal by Prater. Now the Broncos are 7-1 with Tim Tebow as a starter. How does this keep happening? They're in playoff position, and now they have to go play New England Patriots, led by Tom Brady. Part 11, Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL regular season. Tebow is riding a 7-1 game winning streak, including 6 wins in a row. Round against Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. Part 12, Tim Tebow cheated out of the NFL playoffs. The Broncos were 1-4 before Tim Tebow took over as a starter. Led them to a 7-1 record as a starter, and then he won 6 in a row before losing his last 3. But they still made the playoffs. They went against Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. No one expected the Steelers to lose this game. Everyone expected the Steelers to win. It goes to overtime. Overtime is Tebow time. The Broncos ended up winning the toss, and what happened next goes down in NFL history with this slant pass to Demaryius Thomas for 80 yards. This is one of the best comeback runs I've ever seen in my life, anyone's ever seen. Led the Broncos to the NFL playoffs, won a playoff game. He being Tim Tebow, would end up losing to the New England Patriots and Tom Brady, which is no shame at that at all. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Part 13, Tim Tebow cheated out of the NFL. Don't forget to like for Part 14. Check out the bio. If you like more content like this, please support the Patreon page. Now, Tim Tebow led the Broncos to an NFL playoff win. First season ever starting as a quarterback. They had episodes of him on South Park. Tebowing became a nationwide phenomenon, and everything was going great for Tebow. But Peyton Manning ended up leaving the Indianapolis Colts because they drafted Andrew Luck, because the Colts cheated to get a #1 pick. So then the Broncos signed Peyton Manning. Nothing you can do. Peyton Manning was the better quarterback, and he led the Broncos to a Super Bowl. But then Tebow was traded to the New York Jets, thinking he would get an opportunity to start and lead the Jets to the playoffs. And what comes up next is how Tim Tebow was cheated out of the NFL. Part 14, Tim Tebow being cheated out of the NFL, Jets edition. So, Tim Tebow was traded to the Jets, and this is what happened. He didn't get one chance to start in the game. Mark Sanchez, the butt fumble guy, would end up playing all the games, and when he got hurt, the third string quarterback got a chance over Tim Tebow. He never got a chance to start for the New York Jets. Even when he was trying to make plays, it just didn't work out. The Jets would end up losing big that season. Rex Ryan would eventually be fired. But there was one more stop after this that might have changed things around. Part 15, Tim Tebow cheated out of the NFL, his final chance. This is the second to last video. He was given a chance from Josh McDaniels again and Bill Belichick from the New England Patriots. However, they had a starter. His name is Tom Brady. He didn't really have a chance to compete for a starting job or to get on the team even as a backup. So he had one more chance with the Philadelphia Eagles, with Chip Kelly as the coach. And he dominated that preseason, had great plays. He went out there and he balled, had many touchdowns. But at the end of the day, Chip Kelly, which would be his final season in Philadelphia and being kicked out of the NFL, cut Tim Tebow. The final video, the final part, Part 16, Tim Tebow cheated out of the NFL. He had a winning record. He had a playoff win, and he never had a chance to start in the NFL again. Why? The NFL is cheating, just like they did with Colin Kaepernick. Everyone sees it now. They're cheating Colin Kaepernick, and they're cheating Tebow. Jay Cutler, 12 season, losing record, 1 playoff win. Tim Tebow, 1 season, 1 playoff win, winning record. Better than Cutler. Better than Andy Dalton. 0 playoff wins for Andy Dalton. 0 playoff wins for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Not better than Stafford, but he has 0 playoff wins and a losing record. And finally, Jeff fucking Driscoll went to the University of Florida. Couldn't win at Florida. Tebow won a Heisman. 0 wins. Can't win in this league. But he's in, and Tebow's not.